them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they do stay friends.
uh, so how does somebody decide, because I'm sure you get asked these questions,
Hmm.
when is the right time to move? Maybe because I know you're a mom, right? And I'm a
Hmm.
mom. Do you move when your kids are in high school? Do you move when you're, how do you know when the best time to move is, right? Because you're really the real estate agent is the person that you go to seek for guidance, in terms of what market conditions are and well, what are the schools like in this particular area and where do you recommend? Do you get asked those kinds of questions? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Oh, sure. People always want to know when's the right time, and then they have their own opinions on when's the right time. But the reality is, nobody has a crystal ball. So let's get down to when's the right time for you. And there's so many variables, Rhonda, with each client. If their kids in school, some kids can handle a move. In the middle of a school year, some kids would struggle with a mid-year move. Some would be fine moving in the middle of, junior high or high school, and others may not. Those are the variables. You have to look at every situation and say, okay, what's right for you? And then there's also just market time. When's a good time for this kind of home? What's the ideal timing? What's going on with the market at that time? There's just a lot of variables to consider. And then, yes, I can say, hey, now we either need to list, oftentimes we either need to list now or we need to wait, typically as we go into the holidays, as we're about to head into November, December, it's usually very quiet. It gets a little quieter in the real estate market. But this year, I don't know that I could anticipate that because
Yeah, no, I think
nothing
that's
seems to
true.
be kind of shaking the market and people are still wanting to make their move. It doesn't matter. It's the holidays. They're already home all the time. They want to, get to where they're going. So I don't know that there'll be much of a slowdown this year. So,
Hmm.
we just guide according to, that particular client and all their variables, what
So
makes the
I'm
most sense.
curious about something. It used to be that that the real estate agents would go into an office at least, for floor time or, and what I'm
Hmm.
hearing now is that everything is pretty much going virtual. In fact, the magazine American Lifestyle, and many years ago I used to go into real estate offices and I would do a lot of the presentations. And that was a fun thing because I actually ended up, doing a lot of trainings on LinkedIn as well. And they pretty much have gone completely virtual. Tell me a little bit about what's happening in terms of, the real estate offices and people renting space. Is that still happening or is everybody working from home now?
Yeah, we have limited access to the office and our offices now. But, what's sad about that is just the interaction with the other agents in the office. We don't get to see each other, chat a bit, find out what they're doing, that sort of thing and what's happening in their arena. So that part's missing. But real estate can be done from a home office. You don't need an office setting. I think there's a lot of people that are missing that interaction with their coworkers, and to
Yeah.
not have that. Our office meetings are now online, and we're discouraged from going into the office. We're permitted to, but there's restrictions and all of that. So it's a fully functional career from a home office standpoint because of the way, at least for me, the way that my company provides access to resources from my computer. I can get them anywhere. I don't have to be in the office
Well, one of the
for
things that
that.
I
So,
noticed, one
mhm.
of the things I know about you is, when I mentioned, I said, we really want to live in an over 55 community and,
Mhm.
this is the area. What do you do because you immediately knew all of the, specific communities that were in the area. How do you stay on top of all of that? Because that's one of the things that immediately impressed me. When I told you what it is that we were looking for, you said, oh, there's this, there's this, there's this. And you knew the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of all of them. And I was like, I went online and couldn't even find this information because it really wasn't there. So what do you do so that, because it really does make you exceptional, to
Yeah.
stay on top of having all this knowledge about, you cover a very specific area that, goes from San Diego all the way to Fallbrook and Menifee and Temecula and in between. But what do you do so that's a big area and you seem to have all the information at your fingertips, not just from the internet, but firsthand. How do you do that?
You have to, as a realtor, and a lot of people don't realize how much really to be an effective realtor and to be a good resource for your clients, you really do need to put in the time to go on Broker Caravan. Even if you don't have a client for a particular house, go look at it. Go learn your inventory, learn your market, see the homes, even if you don't have someone at that time. And that's where, to me, it really comes in handy and is a valuable resource that I can provide for my clients, because just that it does take a lot of time to learn. There's so many neighborhoods, and sure, there's a lot I don't know, but if I had someone interested, I'd go explore and learn and find. But for the most part, as I go, if there are days where I'm not active with a client and there's time to go explore homes, you go out and look at homes. There's vacant homes. You just set it up and go look at them and learn the neighborhoods. It's just part of the process.
I think that's awesome. I know for me, in LinkedIn even, because that's my real estate, I'm always looking at other profiles. I'm always studying what's happening with LinkedIn in terms of what's going on, what's new, what's changed. And again, it's not that I'm doing it for any specific client. It's because I never know when that question is going to come up, when somebody's going to ask me about something and I need to know the answer. So in every business, I think the top professionals have to use their time to continually stay on top, know what's happening in the industry, and and be a resource. And I think that's the biggest thing, is positioning yourself as a resource. So, Michelle, if somebody wanted to know more about you or wanted to reach out, maybe they had a question, or maybe they're like me and they are just looking for a fabulous realtor to help them to find their new home or sell their home, how would we get in touch with you?
Sure. There's all kinds of ways. I am on Facebook at Michelle DICARLO, your favorite realtor. And DICARLO is D-I, not D-E. I'm also on Instagram at Michelle DICARLO. Please go there and follow or like me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I am with Coldwell Banker Realty, and you can pretty much find me anywhere and everywhere, because this is what I do. So I'd love that. Yeah, you can find me there.
I'm so glad that we had a chance to do this. As we've been talking, I'm getting to know you in a different way. I met you as somebody who was in a class with me, instantly liked you, stayed in touch, and didn't really get to know you until you became my real estate agent. And, there's one thing that I teach every one of my clients, and it's my favorite 4 words, and it is, I need your help. And when you say that to somebody, most people will say, sure, what do you need? And as somebody with 25,000 plus connections on LinkedIn and, being one of the top 50 trainers, I often get asked, who do you know? So I'm making referrals all day long. But I think even in your business, to be able to go to people and say, hey, I could really use your help. And it might just be, I need your help. I need to know if I know who you might know that blah, 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 So those are the magic 4 words that I share with every single client, because the worst that could happen is somebody will say, well, no, I can't help you. And you're left in the exact same position that you started in, so worse off, right? And the one thing I love about you, Michelle, and I got to say is, I know that you're in Encinitas and you're in the coastal area, and you actually said, if you need help selling your home, I can do it, or I can refer you to somebody that's in the area. And to me, that was the highest integrity of anybody, because you said, look, if you're not comfortable because I'm not directly in your city, I can refer you to somebody. And honestly, it never occurred to me that I could use you on both ends of the transaction. And that was probably one of the best decisions we could have ever made because of the comfort factor. And the fact that you offered to turn this over to somebody else just spoke volumes. And I don't often see other real estate agents that do that. They just have a different mindset. So
well, my mindset is to serve my client, and I didn't know whether or not it was important to you to have someone local, if it was, what was most important to you. So I wanted you to know I could serve you in any way. I can find you someone, or I can serve you.
Well, thank you so much. That is a huge lesson, and I'm so excited to have had you on the show. I'm Rhonda Schur, your host of Unleashing LinkedIn on Society Bites Radio. I want to thank you, Michelle DiCarlo, the amazing, amazing realtor. And it's been a delight. And I look forward to seeing you all on my next episode. Remember, if you're not LinkedIn, you just might be left out. Thanks for joining us.